Imagine you and your best friend just started up an LLC together. Y'all having fun. It looked like it's going to be a super play and everything is going great until the money start coming in. And all of a sudden, everything ain't all good no more. Who owns what? Who gets paid first? Who gets to decide if the business is going to take on debt or if you're going to cash flow everything? Are y'all going to move at the speed of cash? Are you going to open credit cards, take out lines of credit? Who makes those decisions? And can somebody make that decision and take that action without you knowing about it? Without an operating agreement, you're just asking for these type of conflicts, bro. Potential lawsuits, and even the loss of your business altogether. Today, I'm going to break down why having an operating agreement is one of the smartest moves that you can make as an entrepreneur. Most people feel like once they file for their LLC and get that formation in place, they all set. That's all they got to do. But the truth is, the LLC is just like a shell. It's like buying a car with no engine. Without the operating agreement, your business exists, but it don't tell you how the business is going to be ran, who's in charge, or what happens when things go wrong, because they will go wrong. And that's where the operating agreement comes in. It's the engine that helps everything run smoothly, legally. To put it simple, an operating agreement is a legal document that outlines how your LLC will be ran. Things like how profit and losses are distributed, who can open up credit cards, and how decisions are made within the business. Even if you are a single member LLC, an operating agreement is still necessary and it is a form of protection. Now, let's say you start your LLC with a business partner. 5 years later down the line, the business is booming, but your business partner dies all of a sudden. Who do you think their ownership goes to? Because it don't come back to you. Legally, it's more than likely going to go directly to their heirs. So that could be their spouse, their kids, or even their mother. All of a sudden, while y'all was at the top of your game, you're now in business with somebody who never shares your vision, never worked in the company, or probably most likely never even operated a business of their own. And maybe they don't even like you, but now they're your new business partner. This is the exact type of situation you can find yourself in if you operate in a business without an operating agreement that outlines all of those type of details. You might even have to buy them out at an unfair evaluation or just dissolve the business altogether. But now you can't solely make the decision to dissolve the business because they're your partner. So they may also have to be on board with dissolving the business. It can get real messy if you ain't got your paperwork together. I'm going to give y'all 5 core benefits as to why you absolutely need an operating agreement as an entrepreneur. First things first, ownership clarity. Operating agreement will clearly state each member's ownership percentage, roles, and responsibilities. Because remember, if everybody's in charge, nobody's in charge. It also prevents he said, she said disputes later down the line. And if somebody's not pulling their weight, you can point it out in black and white. Hey, these are your responsibilities. You have not been doing these. So now we need to talk about the percentage or the ownership that we have in place. You can actually address those type of conversations head on with black and white facts instead of just emotions and feelings, because that don't always work out too well. Second, decision-making rules. An operating agreement will lay out how decisions are voted on. Is it a majority vote or unanimous decision? It also clarifies who has the authority to sign contracts, spend money, open credit cards, hire staff, and everything else that tends to go untalked about. Third, and this is really important, profit distribution. An operating agreement can protect you from default state laws that may not fully align with how you want your profits to be divided in your business. For example, just because you own 70% of the business does not necessarily mean that you're going to take home 70% of all the profits, unless that's outlined in writing. Fourth, liability protection. An operating agreement pretty much presents you as a real business or corporation. If you have to go to court, it lets the courts know you're running an actual organization, not just a side hustle. The operating agreement also helps separate personal assets from business assets, because just open up an LLC, even though it is a limited liability corporation, that's not enough. You need an operating agreement in place so that can actually help you distinguish what's yours and what's the business's if you have to go to court. And lastly, exit strategy and succession. An operating agreement is going to outline what happens if a member wants out of the business, what happens if a member passes away, or what happens if everybody agrees to dissolve the company. It can prevent forced liquidation or dissolving of the business, or the wrong person inheriting full control of the business. Now, if you're going to start a business, don't be a fool. Let's talk about some common mistakes that other entrepreneurs make all the time. I've owned multiple businesses, so I've made these mistakes myself. So I'm actually talking from experience. First mistake is thinking, oh, we're family or we're friends. We don't need an operating agreement. We're on the same page. And wrong. The reality is money changes everything, or the lack of money. The second mistake is downloading a generic operating agreement template that really does not even specifically fit your situation. Just plugging in your business name and the percentages that you want. No, you need to have an operating agreement that is tailored to your situation, your business, your partnership. If stuff hits the fan, you are really protected. And the most common mistake is not updating the operating agreement as the business continues to grow. So you want to establish that operating agreement the day you start your business, but 3 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, as the business grows in revenue and you add on other components to the business, you want to update that operating agreement. Whatever you do, protect your business. Until the next time, y'all, tap in.